Yeah, that one out. I won't clean the inside of these holes here. I'll put grease in them. I put grease in the last time so I could get it out. It wasn't a bad idea though. I mean, it was easy to pull out, wasn't it? Just makes it difficult to tighten them, but as I said, you can tighten them by tightening the brakes up. You could do that. You can check that the slack adjusters are good then as well by tightening the slack adjusters as tight as they can go, and then just slacken them all off until the wheels turn, until you can only just get the wheels starting to turn without hearing the shoes. Well, you can hear the shoes just like that a little bit. It's pretty well adjusted then. They're ready to go on. I'm going to clean this stub and stuff up now, so I'll have to put all this stuff away. I might pull this one apart now as well, so it'll just be the same as what you saw, except for I'll have to put a puller on this to pull that off, so I can change the bush in there as well. And I want to put just brush the backing plate with a wire brush. It'll be good enough. Just going to put I'd like to put the pressure washer on the stub axle, just to get all the dirt and grit off, and around where the seal sits. The wire brush and stuff will get packed up with grease and crap. I'll just use the steam cleaner. I'll just rag them off first and then clean them. I tried after taking that circlip off and the circlip off just to hit this through, but there's too much dust, fine dust gone into the splines there and rusted it up, so I'll have to put the hydraulic puller on the adjuster to take them off, and this one as well. I don't think that one will move either. I should have cleaned those splines up a little bit better. Well, I haven't cleaned them up at all. I just put WD on them, and it won't make much odds to the puller, I don't think. Won't bother either way. They're pretty powerful tools. I put these back on with grease as well. I think they'd be easier to come off. I don't think they'll bang off like what they usually do. I'll just slide stubbornly and slowly. There you go. It did go bang. They might beat now with a sledge and the pin. Yep. That was quite handy. I don't know why these rivets come off and stuff on them. I think that one's falling apart. Yeah. Bloody hell. Need more than one then. I put a set of them on it. It's turning into a bit of a money pit now. Doing the same thing on this side. I haven't pulled the wheels off on that side. I've slackened the nuts and stuff. It's only like a 5-minute job to get down to the brakes on the other side now. Let's take this adjuster off ready. It needs a bush. Well, it's not terrible playing it, but a little bit worn. She's done quite a lot of mileage since I'd done these last. That's why I decided to do them. I thought they were buggered. No. Maybe one is really knackered. I don't know. Because she was doing like a squealing for a while, and I thought, oh, those are starting to knacker the drums out, but I might be lucky twice, so I don't know. Anyway, we'll do the job right, and it'll be a good job. This is the only slack adjuster I can keep, I think. It's got the NC paint on, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, that one's in alright condition. That one's okay as well, maybe. I can't remember. But I'll need two on this side anyway. That one's no good. Take that off so you can hear me. Oh, it's not a pot of jelly, it's some diesel. And remember, when you're washing commercial or fairings for road use, to use white diesel. But We're repairing an agricultural spec trailer here, so you can use red diesel for the purposes of repairing agricultural equipment or forestry. It's a joke. Not a very good one maybe, but still a joke. You can see how dirty that diesel's gone. Got dirty quick, didn't it? Never thought there was so much rubbish in it. I intended on putting some gloves on as well, but go bearings won't get much cleaner than that. With them all a dunk in the diesel. Everything that goes back inside the bearing area, I'll just clean that with a rag again because I put my hand on it. So they're ready for grease now. I got the air greaser connected up. It's got EP2 in it. It's the air greaser won't pump the, well, it'll probably pump the blue and red grease, but it won't pump the black grease in the winter. It's too heavy for it. So it's just got EP2 in it now. A bit of a pain. I only just bought it. I only wanted it for greasing pins and bushes. It was no good in the winter. But probably be alright if I put blue stuff. I just grease stuff with the blue grease while they're in the yard, to just so I can use this greaser. It's handy to grease the trailer and the axles and stuff on the tractors and things like that when you want to do a lot of greasing, or if the excavator happens to be on the yard, and grease it up a bit quicker. Should really let them dry out a little bit more. Always a problem with something, the plate inside that isn't going down. Whoever made this air greaser needs an award for the crappiest piece of engineering ever made. Oh, brilliant, well done. How well made is that? I hardly ever used it, it's nearly brand new. Tightened enough just to stop the leaking in it. Take the gauge off to tighten that properly. Not too optimistic that it's going to pump for me now either. So maybe the grease is warmed up enough. Turn the pressure down a little bit. Turn the pressure down on this a little bit now so I can pump a little bit more smoothly into the bearing. I want a little bit of pressure to push in. I'm just pushing the grease in a little bit. Put some gloves on afterwards and massage the grease into the rollers. Clean this seal up nice and dry. Don't really want any grease in the gap here. I don't know if I put grease on it last time when I put it together. I might have greased it. The outside of the seal. It hasn't done any damage, it's in good condition. Very good condition really. Just plaster over the stuff. Worth silicone spray. I find it very good on seals. They never seem to leak anyway. After I've done it. I'll quickly put the pressure washer on the backing plates, just so that we haven't got any dust and stuff like that. You see it's coming off of my hand, falling on the axle and on the bearing when we put it back on. When I done the bearings on it last time, I just cleaned it with a wire brush, and I didn't have the pressure washer down here, so I didn't get to clean the bearings and stuff as well. But I did as good a job as I could with rags and diesel and stuff. It is really difficult to put things back on, especially those drums when they got dust still in them, and you see bits of dust falling on the bearing. Pulling the drum back off, cleaning the bearing, put it back, taking it off, because the bearing's in the sight there while the drum's going on here, and it's dung dung like that, and bits fall off. So I've got the luxury of the pressure washer, so I'll use it. Don't forget to put the circlip on before the rubber boot. You'll be struggling to take it off. Don't forget to put the rubber boot on before you put the shaft through over there either. Put the boot on before feeding it through the far hole. It just slides on. Make sure the shaft's as clean as you can get it. You don't want grit inside that boot when you put it on either. Again, it's not a how-to, pretty much explaining what I'm doing is the aim more than anything. And if the O-ring goes there, probably. I'll try it. Didn't put the O-rings on last time because I didn't know where they went. Because they weren't there when I took it off. It was like a do the job in the night job last time as well. About midnight finishing and starting at 5 in the morning and to get it done. O-ring on there as well. And everything will be figured out then, won't it? So clips back on, boots back on, grease back where I want it. Fits anyway. Suppose it stops dust getting into there. I thought that what the boot was supposed to do, but I don't know. That O-ring might not go there, I don't know. Anyway, if I find a place that needs an O-ring, I'll grab another. I've got plenty of them in the shed. Just put it there anyway. Stops water and stuff going into the bush. Well, kind of. The circlip sits against it. So. There you go. The sheet's bent down now, it's difficult to slide it in. Just finish sliding the boot on then. I won't fill it with grease this time since I got the O-ring there. It might last better. Not sure what you can see, sorry. Touch that, I can see. I can only see it saying what swipe screen up. No, thank you. I haven't got clean hands. I thought the boot sat on a little lip. It doesn't, it just goes over it. Just keep forcing it on and hold pressure against it like that, just a little bit, just make sure that the rubber is springing towards the back plate. So it'll stay there then. Ooh, we've got to have a little circlip behind the boot to hold it against it, but anyway, that's one of those cams put in. Pretty simple job, nothing technical about that. It just sits in there the trucks, they grease that point there as well, but they don't seem to bother on these. Got a little bit of leverage there as well, and it goes like that as it's working as well, and shit really. So I put it in with the bolt there loosely. You don't need to put any grease on that bolt. The hole is bigger than the bolt. Another good fitment, but don't really want to tighten these until you've put the drum on and put all the rams back on and tighten the slack adjuster, so that there's a lot of tension on this then, and give it a tap so that it centralizes before you tighten the nut, so that it's bang on in the center, so you're getting even wear, because the shoes will be touching the inside of the drum then. So there's dirt on the screen. Bam, thanks. So the shoes will be tight against the drum, and then you just tap this to vibrate it so that it finds its center pretty well, and then tighten it up. If you tighten it up there now, it might not be bang on in the center. It probably how they tell you to do it, but I don't know. That's just how I do it to make sure that they're centralized and that they're wearing evenly. You can see on these that they're wearing evenly. Then one more on the front than on the back or anything, so I'm not wrong. Well, a little bit more one on the front than on the back, but very minimal. A mil maybe. So last time I done one of these, this one, I took that off and then I tried to assemble these on this. It worked alright. I just had to get these to pop back on here. I put them on this one first because it's more difficult to get it on there. So I put them on there, put that in place, and then levered them over that lip. It worked like that alright, but I think it'll be easier like this. Just leave it loose. Got it in place but loose, and just lever them over onto this before tightening them. Or not. I'll need two hands for it anyway. I might not get it on like that, I don't know. You can watch me struggle now. Nothing much for levering like that. The camera's turning on. Just trying to get the tip of the screwdriver over the edge. Yeah. Just don't go between them. And there we go. She's on. Don't put your fingers anywhere between here. So what I did, I just got the tip of the screwdriver, forced it between there, and just levered it down and shoved it on, as you saw. That was the first attempt of that method, and it worked alright. So you can see there's loads of play there. So like I was saying, for setting that then, put them on, put the drum on, and I'll have to tighten them after I weld the brackets on and put the new slack adjusters on. And you tighten the slack adjuster against the ram then to force these shoes out against the inner side of this, and then when they're tight against there, as tight as you can tighten it pretty much without wrecking the slack adjuster. As much force nearly as you can put on a 1/2 inch ratchet within reason, depends how strong you are. And just give this a tap then. Just tap it. You can tap it with a hammer just on the edge of the bolt. You don't need to tap it much. It'll be centralizing itself pretty well because it's hovering, so it's been clamped by so it's pretty square because these edges are square and these are lining up pretty well with each other, so it's sitting square. So all we need to do is tap it so that it can centralise. It'll probably centralise anyway. But it might not even need tapping. It'll be centre. That's my advice on that. Might be the wrong advice, but it worked last time anyway. Another thing that's quite advantageous about cleaning even things like this up is when you put it back through, you're not putting dirt back through the bush. To put this back through is difficult not to touch it if it's covered in dirt. It's going to be filling that bush up with dirt and muck, and you don't really want that, so just put them on after cleaning them if you can. You can't always be perfect. It's thing. What's a good thing to do, I suppose? I try to, if I'm doing like 4 or 5 things repetitively like this, I know that the tool was on the last one. I try to do everything, like do these cams, do all the cams, and then you know that the tools are there if they're not here, instead of carting them around in your hand and putting them down. As I'm bad for doing that. I need to remember to put the rubber boots on. Oh, you can see there even. Bloody screen lock. Oh yeah. Slide the boot on over all this crappy paint. Hold it with your face. Good thing. But worked then. Very good. There's got a little thing you press down to get the grease out. Just grease the neck or the surface on there. Right on the bush. Spin it into place. So that one will probably benefit more from the O-ring than the other one. The shaft's gone a bit small because it's probably corroded, and I've sanded it down twice now, so it's quite loose in the hall, but doesn't make any difference to it. As long as it's turning those shoes on. Must be where the O-ring goes. Odd place to have an O-ring. Might not be where the O-ring goes, but they won't harm anything. Bloody thing's warping now. This starting. The circlip player's got a bit of a twist on one side, so you can go clip, warp. Oh, it's not sliding on now. That O-ring will be sealing dust out, no doubt about it, so it's not really that hard to work on it. It's a serviceable thing, these brakes, so you know, it's not designed to last 20,000 hours, it's designed to last, I don't know, it doesn't do that very often either, does it? Just does it sometimes, unless you get a hooligan driving. You should probably take them off the tractor. They're hard on equipment. Hard on equipment, hard on your pocket. Unless you're able to trade things in for a new one every time instead of repairing them, which is also a pretty good thing. It gives people like me then a chance to buy a good machine second hand that needs a few bits. I seem to be a bit busy now to be fixing my own stuff too much. There's a crap under there. I'll have to sand to put a wire brush on the thing. Can get the bolt to sit. Old paint and stuff. No, might have done more harm than good then, but should sit a bit better. Yeah. Pretty good, as good as I can get it to sit on there. The more I sand, the more dust and dirt goes into the thing, so I'll leave it like that. It's pretty good. Get it as tight as I can by hand like this, just give it a bit of a wiggle. So you can see, can you see? I'm asking if you can see. As if I'm able to hear your answer. Must be mental, isn't it? Put that all the way on like I done last time. Well, yeah, put it all the way on the top one. Sitting in the lip. Try not to touch this brake material either too much. It's not going to be a healthy material for you. You're rubbing too much against. So just forcing the screwdriver down. Okay. Till it's passing the lip like I said earlier. And keep pushing against the screwdriver as well. I can't just lever it. Well, that's what I did then anyway. There you go. So that's pretty easy. Just don't get your fingers there, there's enough force on them to crush your finger or break it off if you pinch it in the right place or the wrong place. Depends on how you look at stuff. And you can just square it up by hand now. Push it in until the pin's touching and nip it up by hand like that, just to centralise them a bit. And this one's ready for seals and bearing now. I got the silicone spray on the O-ring, it's on the inside as well, but no more lubrication on it. It's pretty much just to get it on. Just use a screwdriver to press it in. Sit in the corner like that. It's got a steel back plate on it. Don't press too hard. Not hard enough to break the rubber. I'll do something bigger than, it's quite a big screwdriver, so it's not got too much pressure on the rubber to split it. Make sure it's nice and tight all the way around so that it's sitting square. If it's not sitting square, it won't seal. Well, probably will seal, but might not seal as long or as well. Might leak a little bit. I can put the big bearing. I don't know why they got the big bearing on the inside. Just spray the stub shaft with silicone spray just to get the help the bearing slide on in case it gets a bit stiff. I'm not using the penetration fluid or WD-40 if you want to call it that. because I don't want to get it on the seal. I don't want to get this grease on the seal either. Now I can finish greasing up the bearing. I have been dunking the bearings in, what do you call it, a little bath of gear oil, but it drops, it spills everywhere and it's a nightmare to use, so I won't be doing that. I should have done this when the bearing was a little bit further out as well. But difficult to do this like this now. I can pull it off without touching the damn seal. Ah, there you go. You're going to pack as much grease into the bearing as you possibly can. Until no more grease will go into it. I'll pack the race up as well with grease, so when it goes on it'll press into the bearing. The pressure will force through the bearing and push what grease I put in it back out this way, so it'll be fully greased then. You need about 50 gloves to do this now. Right, this is the small bearing. Oh, I got the small bearing on the outside. More weight on the outside. I'm sure the Leyland was the big bearing on the outside and small on the inside. Should have washed the outside of the drum as well. Just be careful. Pressure washed in here as well, but I'll just wipe it clean with a rag now. And a little bit of grease left on the inside there. So I'll clean that up and then I'll fill this with as much grease as will sit in there and cover the race as well. So then on the probably further down I won't put grease up here, so it'll squeeze onto the seal. And you want to clean the seal surface as well, so that surface there needs to be clean and no grease at all on there really, if you can help it. It'll find its way there and start lubricating from the inside out eventually anyway, but you don't want it on the outside catching dust and wearing it back inwards. That's pretty much as clean as I can get there. It's nice and clean for the seal. I might put some silicone spray on there as well. The more time I spend on trying to clean this, more dust will blow on that there, so I'll just grease this up now and whack it on. I can pump some in here as well. Needs quite a lot in there. I'll put it up on its edge to finish filling that, and I'll just smear some of this on the race just so that there's some on the race before I put the silicone spray on the sealing surface. Make sure that there's grease. You don't want steel on steel without any lubrication whatsoever really. You can help it. And gloves didn't last me long, did they? Oh, piece of grease off there. Can whack the drum back on now. Difficult part. Seal. So you can see with the when it's on, that grease we're pumping in the middle there is trapped in there now. You can't grease it after putting it on, so you need to put quite a lot of grease. I have filled that cavity then with grease, so it'll keep walking into the bearing. and I'll pack this side up the same and push the bearing into that as well. You want to be putting grit on the tip of this thing either. So there's plenty of room for air inside. It's pretty much half full of grease. I got it. Cover all the race, make sure no part of the race without grease on it. And pop the bearing in. It's a shame that you can't put EP90 in them. Be better. So keen on the grease idea. So, like you saw then, all the grease spewed out, and that's what happens to the one on the inside. So you put the thing on and it forces its way back inwards instead of outwards. To clean my hands now. I'll save this grease and put it in the cap and fill the cap up with grease as well. And if one of the bearings does get hot, it'll soften and just flow in. There's a pretty big void in there, so scrape all this and just put it in there. And put as much as you can in there as well, really. So it's got more chance of finding the other bearing as well. On the lorry one, it was had the drilling in this to go through to the centre and through to the other bearing, and you can put oil in through the cap. You can't put oil in this. Well, could kind of, but it's not made for oil. Even though oil would work better in it, in my opinion. I'll fill this up as well, so there won't be a shortage of grease in this. I'll try and keep the seal clean. I'll put some silicone spray on that, the same as I've done on the everything else, and put it on, nip it up, and that'll be that. So I'll leave it there for now, and next time I'll just weld those plates on. I won't show me doing the other side, it's just exactly the same as this side, so no point to waste the time in case you get bored watching it. And I'll show the adjustment of the brakes and stuff then at the end, or my method of adjusting them anyway. And see you then.